Today's video, I'm going to be doing the wheel bearing on this Toyota 4runner. To take off the brake caliper, first we're going to take off the brake hose bracket, 12mm bolt. $17mm for the caliper bolts. Then pull off your caliper. Go ahead and take off our go ahead and take off our rotor. $35mm. And make sure that the axle can come out. This wheel speed bracket, we're going to go ahead and take that off. 10mm. $10mm for the wheel speed sensor. $17mm for the knuckle to ball joint bracket. Put a jack on the lower ball joint so it doesn't shoot apart from each other. Now the knuckle is just hanging from the upper ball joint. $19mm for the upper ball joint nut. Here you go, here's your knuckle. All you're doing is prying out from this ridge right here. Got a 20-ton press. You might have to take it to a machine shop for them to do this part for you if you don't have this stuff at home, which is not a big deal, but at least you could save a lot of money on labor. Got a couple of big blocks, a couple of steel plates, and a 35mm socket pressing specifically just on the hub. And here's your hub. Now with the hub out, we can take off our spacer and our ABS ring. Here's our snap ring. Now with the snap ring off, we're going to go ahead and press the bearing out. Now this is my specific setup on pressing the bearing out. Alright, the bearing's out. Here's our new wheel bearing. It's not directional, so it can go either way. And when you press it in, You don't want to press it. Pretty much is going to bottom out right under the C-clip groove. Now we're going to use the old bearing up top to press the last little bit of the travel. Go ahead and throw our C-clip back in. Hold it in on the back end and then compress the one end. And we can go ahead and put our dust cap on. You can use one of your press plates since it's big enough, and you just top it on. Good to go. After you put your seal on, make sure you at least temp install your splash shield, so once you press the hub on, you're not stuck without it. I'm using a barrel to press on the inner side of the bearing race, so when I'm pressing on the hub, it's not pressing on the bearing itself. Now we got our hub pressed all the way through. We'll go ahead and put the bolts in for the dust plate. Gonna go ahead and install our ABS ring. Gonna go ahead and install our spacer, bevel in towards the camera. Good to go. And lastly, we'll go ahead and put on our dust shield. The smaller inner lip goes in first. Then I'm going to find a barrel that sits on the outer ring. And as you can see, now our dust shield is flat. Now we can throw in our assembly back on the truck. While installing the axle to the knuckle, we're going to line up the bottom holes for the ball joint. The 4 mount bolts came out with a little bit of lock thread, so I'm going to go ahead and put some red lock thread back on. Torque I found online was 59 foot-pounds. I'm going to go ahead and put the nut on temporarily so the axle is just not flopping around. I'm going to go ahead and jack up the knuckle to install our upper ball joint. $80 foot-pounds for this upper ball joint. $65 foot-pounds. Axle torque, 203 foot-pounds. And there you go. That's how you replace your wheel bearing. Hopefully this video helps y'all. You have a good one.